Today I'm going to take you through the pros and cons of living in Carmel, Indiana. That way, by the end of this video, you should be able to determine if living in Carmel is right for you and your family. Before we begin, I'm Cameron Geesaman, your favorite Indianapolis YouTubing realtor. Now, I of course love sharing information about the Indy and surrounding areas with people like you who are maybe deciding whether or not to move to the area. Today, I'm going to be focusing on Carmel, a nationally recognized city in Indiana. Now, make sure you stick around to the end, as I think the last thing may be a deal breaker for some of you. Now, Carmel, Indiana is located minutes north of Indianapolis in Hamilton County, and it's been named one of the best places to live in America by Money Magazine and Niche. Or is it Niche? I never know what it is. Carmel is home to more than 100,000 residents with a median household income close to $120,000. Now, according to niche.com, 75% of all Carmel residents own their home and 73% have a bachelor's degree or higher. The topic of education segues nicely into the beginning of the list of the pros to living in Carmel, Indiana, and that's a school system. The public school system in Carmel is called Carmel Schools, which has only like one high school, 3 middle schools, and 11 elementary schools. There are more than 16,000 kids in the school system. Gosh, that's a lot. Which also does employ 2,400 staff. Now, Carmel Schools are ranked #1 on niche.com's list of places with the best public schools in Indiana. In addition to having highly ranked academic programs, Carmel Schools also puts together some of the best athletic teams in the state of Indiana as well. One example is the girls' high school swim team, who are currently Indiana state champions for more than 30 years in a row. Wow. Slotting in at #2 in my list of pros is the Center for Performing Arts campus in downtown Carmel. This is home to the Palladium, a world-class, internationally renowned concert hall which hosts symphony orchestras, jazz bands, country stars, and more throughout the year. And during the wintertime, it is home to the Carmel Christkindl Market. Say that 3 times fast. I actually didn't know how to say it for a very long time. Christkindl Market, which is the winner of the USA Today's Best Holiday Market for the last 4 years running. The Christkindl Market truly makes Carmel feel like a fairy tale with all of the lights, the German food vendors, crafts, ice skating rink, and so much more. And to top it all off, admission is free. #3 on my list of pros is all the shopping and dining that is available in Carmel. First up is Clay Terrace, an outdoor mall located at 146th Street and State Road 31. There are shops like Every, one of my favorites, Lululemon, a J. Crew factory store, American Eagle, Dick's Sporting Goods, Old Navy, and so much more. Then there's Cafe Patachou, an absolute favorite of mine, Red Robin, Kona Grill, Prime 47, just to name a few restaurants that are at the mall. Take a 2-minute drive south along Rangeline Road to Main Street and you'll enter the Carmel Arts and Design District. Now here you'll find beloved locations like Bub's Burgers, Joe's Butcher Shop, Anthony's Chop House, and so much more. There are also lots of art galleries and boutique shops. And let's not forget my favorite place to grab dessert. It's the Cake Bake Shop, which is so popular they actually are opening another location on Disney's Boardwalk down in Walt Disney World, Florida. Coming in at #4 on my list of pros is the Monon Trail. Now, the Monon Trail is a 24-mile paved walking and biking trail that spans from Sheridan through Westfield, Carmel, and all the way into Indianapolis. There are spots along the trail with free parking, places where you can rent bikes if you don't have your own. Along the trail, you'll find spots to stop like parks for families, restaurants for a quick bite, beer and wine shops, coffee stops, and so much more. I've put a link in the description below to a fantastic Monon Trail resource guide as well. #5 on my list of pros are the strong home values in Carmel. A realtor talking about home values. The median home price for single-family homes in Carmel is currently $550,000. That is a 15% increase from the same time last year. In the Carmel Clay School District, there are currently about 96 homes for sale, with prices ranging from as low as $269,000 and go up as high as $2.9 million. And I'd like to tie the strong home values back to the very first pro I talked about, which is the school system. A strong school system typically correlates to strong home values in a given area. Okay, before we get into the cons of living in Carmel, Indiana, if you're looking to buy or sell in the Carmel area anytime in the next, say, 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, I'd love to help you. Honestly, I love helping people like you buy or sell either your first home, your last home, or your forever home in Carmel, Indiana. I've been a professional realtor for over 20 years in the Indy area, which includes Carmel, so I'm very familiar with the city and what it takes to properly market and sell a home here. My contact info, of course, is below. Now on to the cons of living in Carmel, Indiana. Like seriously, after we went through the list of pros, what could possibly be a con in living in Carmel? Are there actually any downsides to living there? Well, yes, there are actually cons to living in Carmel. And like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure and stay tuned for the last con on my list, as it may turn some of you away from considering living in Carmel. Now, the first con I'd like to talk about is the massive school system. Yes, it's very highly rated and has incredible sports and extracurricular activities or programs. But let me give you a reason why that's not as awesome as you may think. I'm going to focus on Carmel High School for this particular point, as I think the enrollment numbers are the important part here. There are over 5,300 students enrolled at Carmel High School for the 23-24 school year. Now, let's compare that number to the surrounding public high schools in Hamilton County. Fishers High School has 3,600 students. Hamilton Southeastern High School, or HSC, has 3,400 students. Noblesville has 3,300. Westfield High School has 2,700 students, and Hamilton Heights has 731 students. It's actually a really small school system. Carmel has nearly twice the number of students at Westfield High School and 1.5 times the number of students as Fishers, HSC, and Noblesville. So what does this mean? It means you have not only the largest high school in the state of Indiana, but it is also larger than some private colleges. There are a couple of downsides to this, one of which is it's easy to get lost in the system at such a large high school. The second downside is with so many students vying for sports on coveted sports teams and extracurricular activities, the likelihood of your child making a team are much less than if they went to a smaller school. So if your child isn't the best of the best, they may not make the team. The second con about living in Carmel I'd like to discuss is just how dang expensive everything is. Earlier, I talked about all the lovely restaurants and shops that reside in Carmel, but nice places and nice things cost a lot of money. There's really not much more to say about that, but if you plan to live, dine, and shop in Carmel, be prepared to spend that moolah. Third on my list of cons is the weather. Now, Carmel is in Indiana, which is in the middle of the Midwest. The Midwest experiences all 4 seasons. I love this. But it also includes hot and humid summers and cold and snowy winters. If you don't like extreme temperatures one way or the other, then Carmel might not be the place for you. The main annoying thing about Midwest weather happens during the spring and fall, where you can have massive temperature swings from day to day. One day it could be snowing, and the next it could be 60 degrees. Midwest Mother Nature can be super moody that way. Now, the fourth con on my list are roundabouts. We are the roundabout area. Now, if you're not familiar with what a roundabout is, it looks like this. Now, why do I put this on my list of cons for Carmel? Well, Carmel is the roundabout capital of the United States with more than 138 roundabouts and counting. So many under construction. Carmel began replacing 4-way stops back in the late 1990s and never looked back. If you don't like driving in circles, literally, then you may not like driving around Carmel. All right, now on to my final con of living in Carmel, Indiana, and that's the lack of real public transportation. This is a topic that is currently gaining traction in the areas around Indy and may just be a deal breaker if you're thinking of moving to the Carmel area. The only public transportation system available in Carmel is the Hamilton County Express Public Transit, which is an on-demand, reservation-based transportation bus system. It's $3 per ride and requires 24-hour notice for reservations. That's annoying. This is not a great solution if you need to use public transportation to get somewhere quickly and don't have a day to make a reservation. Well, apparently Carmel knows this is a shortcoming of their city, and earlier this year they began researching a bus transportation system in collaboration with Volkswagen, but nothing has yet to be finalized between the two of them. All right, so there you have it, my list of pros and cons of living in Carmel, Indiana. Do you think I missed anything? If you live in Carmel, what is your favorite part or your worst part about living there? Please post it in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with my list or completely disagree. It doesn't make a difference to me. Once again, I'm Cameron Geesaman, your favorite Indianapolis YouTubing realtor. I'm so cheesy. And that's it for me today. If you liked the video, click that like button and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of our other videos in the future about the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. And if you want to see more pros and cons videos like this, click this video right here. Catch you in the next one.